Hello humans, this is going to be drawing exercise number 4. Uh, we've already done exercise number 3, and we're going to use exercise number 3 to continue this. So this is my completed exercise for exercise number 3. And now what we're going to do is we're going to work on the idea of how to put shadows into this to make it look more like it's a good perspective and look more like these shapes that we drew are layered upon each other. The first thing you need to do to start adding shadows is you need to pick a light source. That means where is the light shining from? For this exercise, we're only going to have one vanishing point, or I'm sorry, not vanishing point, one light source point. You can have multiple light sources. Really, you can have as many as you want. But the more light sources you add, the more complicated those shadows become. So for this exercise, we're only going to do one light point. For me, I think I want my light source to be shining from somewhere over here. Put your light source somewhere that's not in the box that you drew. So put it on the edge of your paper somewhere. You can go right or left, I don't care. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to draw just a little facsimile of a light bulb to illustrate that this is where my light source is coming from, right? You can put really anything you want there. You can make it just a dot if you want, but know that this is where the light source is going to be shining from. So this light will shine this way. And we want to pretend these are actually three-dimensional objects, not just two-dimensional objects. We're going to create that illusion to make them look three-dimensional. So the light source is shining this way, and it is going to shine on the sides of these objects that you have made more brightly than it will maybe on the other side. So what I want you to do for this exercise is start adding shadows where they would live. And the way you do that is you start with the object that is in the foreground, the object that is closest to you, which would be this one. I can tell it's the one that's closest because there's no lines that go through it. So this one, I'm going to start adding shadows to first. For this one, really, you don't want these shadows to be extreme because I don't want these to appear to be like super crazy shapes. I want them to appear maybe kind of like they're cylinders and they're not flat lines. So these are going to transfer from like strips of a shape that are flat to an object that is actually three-dimensional. Holding your pencil like this, when I shade, I almost always hold my pencil like this. That way you can use the side of your lead and not just the tip. Another reason that holding your pencil like this can be really helpful for making things look more realistic. So the light's shining this way, so I know the shadow is going to be on the other side where light wouldn't hit it. So I'm going to start, sorry for shaking the camera, but really gently adding some shadows. Notice that when I do this, I'm pulling my pencil the same way when I do this. I want to make it appear that these lines are smooth and kind of blend together. And if you start drawing like this way, or putting shadows that go against the grain, it's going to look a lot different. So you want to make these lines the same direction every time you make a mark. Just like when you're drawing those intentional lines, you want to try to be intentional with this shadowing. Then I'm going to bring it out here and I'm going to apply a little bit less pressure to the pencil to make it seem like it's kind of fading out. That shadow will disappear about at the halfway mark on this, because again, I want these to look like cylinders and not like they're flat shapes. Then with any pencil, this is just a regular old pencil. It doesn't matter. You can do this with any kind of pencil, but I want you to take your finger and push it up just a little bit. You don't want to go the whole way, but this way it'll look like it's fading out and it won't have that hard line. In in-person school, I would give you a tool called a smudge stump to do this, which is really just a really tightly rolled up piece of paper. But I don't think many of you will have that at home, so I want to show you that you can just do it with your finger. And even when I do have access to smudge stumps, I sometimes use my finger anyways. So I'm going to say that one is done. Now I'm going to move on to another one. I'm going to go to another one that appears to be just below this one. Someone that's kind of not on the top, but is near the top. So let's go with this line that I made here, this shape. So I'm going to shade it. Again, the light source is coming from this way, but this is at a different angle. So the shadow is going to look much different. It's still going to be on the same side that this one is on. So this light would be shining more strongly on this side of the shape rather than this side. So this is where I'm going to put the shadow here. I'm going to do the same way, holding that pencil at an angle. Again, sorry for shaking the table. Giving a hint of that shadow somewhere in here. Right here. And then I'm going to take my finger again and I'm going to push it from the side the shadow's on, pushing it towards the side that I don't want a shadow on. But remember, I want this to appear like it's a smooth transition. Shadows almost never just end. They almost always fade on the objects that they're shining on, because you can't have a shadow with something that's flat. It has to have 3 dimensions, and those dimensions will show, they'll reflect and be blocked different ways. I'm going to do one more. Then I am going to finish this, but I don't want to make you guys watch me do the entire thing, so I am going to end this video pretty quickly. But I want you to do this to every one of the lines that you created. And it's okay at first, especially at first when you're doing this, it's not going to really show that illusion as much as you'd like it to. But as you work your way through it, you'll start to notice that these shadows start to blend into each other, and it starts to make these look like they really are 3-dimensional objects as opposed to non-3-dimensional objects. So I just moving that line. I'm going to add that line again, and I'm going to erase a little bit of this. And then I'm going to do one last one right here. So light source, no, it's going to be blocked on this side. So I'm going to add that shadow to this side of this object. When you're adding shadows like this too, this is a good opportunity to fix parts of the stuff that you don't really like. So I don't like this line. I think I did a pretty shoddy job on making this line not smooth. But I think I can maybe hide that fact a little bit with this shadow. Bringing that shadow in. Notice how I'm resting my fingers here to support myself when I do this. This is another reason that underhand technique usually works pretty better for stuff like this. Pushing it towards that part where I don't want the shadow to be. Keeping it on its side. I'm going to fix this line just a little bit. And voila, that looks a lot better now. So I am going to end the video now, but I want you to finish doing this exercise for today. That is really the only thing that is required of you today, is make sure you get all 3 of the drawings that we did and call this drawing exercise number 4. So this is number 3 and number 4. And we did this on September 10th. And we did this on September 11th. Remember, these sketchbook assignments are always going to be due on Fridays. So if you haven't done them yet, please do, because they are due by 1:30 in the afternoon tomorrow.